Okay, are you ready for chapter 8? It's called Who on Earth is Bob? Big problems followed. As soon as Pompous had stormed out of the house, Chrysius turned on Scorcher. He roared and raged like Vesuvius in the vomitorium. Scorcher scraped away at his face, trying to get all the makeup off and defend himself at the time. You thought it was a good idea for me to pretend to be your daughter, the charioteer pointed out. Did I ask to be Hysteria? No, I didn't. You asked me. True, I nodded wisely. It wasn't my idea either, yelled Chrysius. It was that stupid bird's. And they both turned and looked at me. Me? As if it was some sort of major as if I was some sort of major criminal. Hadn't I saved Hysteria? Hadn't I managed to put Scorcher and Hysteria's little love affair back on track? Yes, I had. Did anyone say thank you? No, they did not. Well, just for once, they can keep their blooming biscuits, and I hope they choke on them. Get over it. Besides, there was more important matters to see to, such as getting Hysteria out of jail. First thing, the next morning, Flavia was making plans. She wrote a note that she was going to ask Perillus to take to the Imperial prison. It said, "Dear Numbskull Guard, the person you call Scorcher is in fact my daughter Hysteria. She's 14 and innocent. Release her at once, you brainless twaddlehead." Bit hard. I suggest it might be an idea to leave out the numbskull and the brainless twaddlehead bits. I don't think I'll put the guard it will put the guard in a very cooperative mood. Do you? Flavia crossed out those bits, called for Perillus and he set off, note in hand. Then she got on pulling pizzas out of the oven as fast as she could. They'd been selling like hot cakes. Like hot pizzas. Another Raven joke, and yes, I know it's not a very good one. My newly poor family desperately needed some dosh since Chrysius had spent almost everything on rent and entertaining Pompous. Chrysius himself had started working as a lowly clerk for an important lawyer, but there still wasn't enough money. What would they do without me to sort them out, eh? Drop down dead, probably. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Meantime, Scorcher was needed at the Colosseum for the day's chariot race. If the green team wanted him to race, they'd have to pay him, so he should be okay as long as he doesn't get shipwrecked. Shipwrecked. That's what we Romans call a major crash in a chariot race. Everyone leaps to their feet and yells, "Shipwrecked!" Chariot racing is very dangerous. Sometimes chariots collide, their wheels come off and go bouncing in all directions. Shipwrecked. The driver is thrown to the ground. He has to cut himself free from the reins tied around his wrist. Otherwise, he'll be dragged to his death by the horses and get run over by who knows how many other chariots. Oh, makes me shudder to think about it. But the Romans love a shipwreck. It's a dangerous, exciting life or death moment. Every time Scorcher gets into the chariot to race, he's taken his life into his hands. In other words, he's brave. Give him a biscuit. But how am I going to get to the Colosseum without being spotted by Crabius and Septimia? Scorcher asked me. Dear reader, please note that Scorcher asked me. Did he ask Chrysius or Perillus or even Trendia? No, he asked me, a raven. Why, you might ask? Because I am the most intelligent and creative creature around. Corvus, you know what's crack? And did I have a good idea? Of course I did. I had the perfect answer. I showed Scorcher the time machine that Madus Bananus had built. He stared at it thoughtfully. It's on wheels, he remarked. That's clever. Why is there an hourglass on top? Don't ask. It's one of Madus Bananus' inventions. Ah, murmured Scorcher, understanding at once. You get inside, I told the charioteer. I'll get Phippus Floppus and Madus Bananus to push you to the Colosseum. When they say it's all clear, you just walk out and Bob's your uncle. I haven't got an uncle, said Scorcher. It's just an expression, I sighed. Oh, right, sounds odd to me. What does it mean? It means, I was stunned. I couldn't think how to explain it all. Bob's your uncle? Listen, it's just something you say when something, it can be done easily. I have no idea why there's an Uncle Bob in it. The important thing is that we get you to the Colosseum without being seen by anyone. Will Uncle Bob be in the time machine with me? Asked Scorcher, still puzzled. There is no Uncle Bob. Look, can we forget about Uncle Bob, huh? Just get in there, shut the door and shut your mouth. Scorcher scrambled in and I slammed the door behind him. Toasted togas. Some people do go on about things, don't they? I mean, get over it. I hurried off and grabbed Maddest Bananas and Flippers. Between them, they managed to push the wardrobe out of Trendia's house, only to come face to face with Septicemia. Where are you off to with that cupboard? She shouted. None of your business, said Maddest Bananas. Don't you talk to me like that, you young bit of muck. The inventor ignored her and carried on pushing. Oi, you've got an hourglass stuck out the top of your cupboard. What's it doing up there? Are you stealing stuff? You are, aren't you? Oh yes, I know what you're like. You're thieves. I decided I would have to join in. Septicemia, they're not thieves. Maddest Banana made this wardrobe and we're taking it to the market to sell. Who's going to buy a wardrobe with a stupid egg timer on the top? Snapped the old bag. Actually, it's a time machine. Well, sort of, Maddest Bananas explained. Yeah, I shouted. And it's time to go. Bye. And off we went, with me perching on top of the hourglass like some minor god in raven form. We rolled all the way to the Colosseum. The noise was unbelievable. Thousands and thousands were shouting. I even heard some of them shouting for Scorcher. The green team were mighty pleased to see him, all except for Jealous. What are you doing here? He demanded. I've come to race, Scorcher told the captain. Tough, you're not racing. There isn't room in the team for you. The other members of the green team were aghast. But Scorcher's brilliant. He has to race. Besides, you're getting too fat and too heavy to race, Jealous. Who's the captain here? Roared Jealous. You are, the team whispered, backing off. Something had to be done. But what and by whom? My brain was in red alert. But I didn't need to do anything because Jealous suddenly noticed me. Ah, a giant black bird. It's a bad omen. Get it out. Wring its neck. Jumping Jupiters. The man must be mad. Wring its neck? How very unkind and not polite at all. We haven't even been introduced yet. Jealous came thundering towards me, hands outstretched and ready to do some ringing. I flapped away from him and Flippers Floppers rather helpfully stuck out one foot. Jealous tripped, stumbling forwards, straight into a wooden post, and he knocked himself out. Boof. Oh dear. Such a shame. Now we wouldn't be able to race. Who could possibly take his place, I wonder? Scorcher, shouted one of the green team. Get yourself ready. The race starts in 10 minutes. Oh boy, things are really falling into place at last, especially for Jealous, who certainly fell into something. Ha ha. The race was on. The chariots were all lined up. The horses were pawing the dusty ground. The starter flag was raised. Get ready, Scorcher. Is he the best charioteer ever? Yes, he is. Give the lad a biscuit. Give the horses a biscuit. The race is on. Crack. That's the end of that chapter. I can't wait to read you the next chapter in just a few minutes. So you can have 2 today. Okay, enjoy. Bye.